Let's assume now that we want to take our customer data and map it through to a simpler data structure to write out to a different file. First thing I need to do is to define some new metadata with our new output data format. So I'm going to user define this. Add, we'll have 3 fields in total. The first one's called CID, customer ID, then company, and finally country. We'll also name the record here customer summary. Let's click on finish. Now what we're going to do is to bring in the reformat data transformer. See how we use this in a moment. Just drag that in, and we'll move this connector here to the input port of reformat, and we'll create a new connector from the output port into the trash. And I'll now right click on here to specify the customer summary metadata that we just created and assign it to that edge. So now when we go into the reformat command, we're going to set up the transform. Now the system knows what the input structure is and what the output structure is. So I'm just going to bring in this into the video window. So input structure, that's the metadata customers, customer summary metadata on the right hand side. If I've got matching fields, I'll just click auto rules, and anything which is automatically got the same name on input and output gets mapped. Customer ID though needs to be mapped manually, as does company name. So let's drag those in, and to match those we said customer ID, so that goes to there, and company name goes to there. And we can see now in bold the ones that have been successfully mapped. So there we are. That's all successfully done. As a very quick taster of what goes on in the background, here you can see the function that's actually the script function that's written. For doing really powerful advanced stuff, you can do all sorts of clever stuff by extending these functions. More on that later. Let's just apply that, and now we're going to debug this edge, so we're going to enable debug. Let's run it. So we're going to run the transformation, and it's going to write there. You can see 92 have gone out of here into here, and 92 have also come out as you'd expect. We can right click on here, press view data, let's look at all those records, and here we can see the output data structure populated with all the 88 records of data. Excellent. So that's going ending up in the trash. Let's not have it end up in the trash. Let's have a file instead. So we're going to bring in a writer now, universal data writer, and let's connect the edges together. And as you'd expect, let's set the metadata. I could have just kept the trash and done it manually, but whoops, that's the wrong one. It should be the customer summary. Okay, double click here to set the universal data writer's properties. Where do we want to write it out to? And we're going to put it in the data out directory, which is automatically created when each close a project. Obviously you could write it any way you like on your file system, or you could call it a web service, all sorts of different things you can do, but the universal data writer really writes flat files, and we're going to put it in here, and we'll say customers new.csv. That's the file that's going to be written. Click on OK. And now let's run it again. Through it goes, and again as it runs through you'll see it updating the counters. Okay, all successfully done. And if I look in the data out directory now, there indeed is customers new.csv, successfully written out. If I double click on that, just bring that a little bit better into view, there it all is. Customer ID, company name, country. So that's the end of our first example, and let's move on to the intermediate phase.